Welcome to Fresh Off the Block.
Hi guys, welcome to Fresh Off the Block, and this is Sharan here, and I'll be taking over hosting duties today because Ullas may just make it sound like a funeral. And I have Nishit with me as well. Guys, say hello.
Hello.
This is our first podcast after a loss, and if anybody wanted to trade a loss, I think everybody would just jump in right now and trade this one. It's a loss after an ISL final, but we've decided not to hide. We've decided to go ahead with this, analyze the game, and everybody deserves to know we will not be backing down come what may. We take losses on the chin, and that's the reason why we are coming out of this. Anyway, guys, what are your feelings right now? Let's just start with that.
It's just a tough one to take. It's not something, and I wrote this on the group as well, that it's not something that you can sleep off or shrug off or just get over. So it's the hurt is still just as fresh, and we're almost 24 hours after the match, and I think it's going to take a long time to get over this one.
Yeah, Nishit?
Yeah, it's very fresh, and there are legitimate consolations that we can take from this. I can make them to myself and feel good about it, but that may be down the line, not just yet.
Nishit, I didn't know you had feelings. You're such a bot.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's just get back to the atmosphere at the stadium. That was it was buzzing yesterday. A lot of guys put in so much hard work for the final. And Ullas, what about the banner? Like, how good was the banner team?
Fantastic stuff, and massive respect to everyone who showed up. And it wasn't an easy one to work on because the weather was playing all kinds of tricks, and they had to do a lot of rework. And many of them were staying up late, and they were going in at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
It was a big troop. Some of them were leading the fundraising part of it, and a lot of people came together to create a very special piece of art in a way. And also it looked majestic when it was unfurled. So full props to them. They really took the final seriously, and it showed.
Yeah, not just that, there were so many administrative issues that we faced because this was being hosted by ISL and not by the club, so they had to get a lot of security clearances.
Correct.
I was unsure till the last moment that this would happen, considering the glitches they were facing till the last second, but props to all of them for pulling them off.
Speaking of the security issues that ISL teams raise, I think they were changing the stance every minute.
Correct.
True.
And that's one of the biggest challenges. Like, everyone's looking forward to a final, but yet.
Yeah, and a word to the ISL security head, the idiot.
Make up your mind.
Yeah, the idiot who said that banners don't help in growth of football. My only message to them is, we've existed before ISL, and we know fully well what it is to create a fan culture. So the next time you go running your mouth about what grows football, do remember that we are just as important a stakeholder as you are and the corporate partners are. So a little more respect would be nice.
Yeah, one of the most flimsy excuses that I heard was that it was a health hazard. I mean, come on. We have been doing this for 4 years now, and I don't know what health hazard were we going to inhale the paint or something? I don't know.
We'll get high on the paint.
वो Grim Reaper हमें आके मार देगा. But credit to the banner team. Whoever worked on the banner, like, hats off to you all for the difficulties you faced. Anyway, moving on to the game. So guys, when the formation came out, what were your thoughts? Nishit, what did you think? First thing, did anybody know how we were going to be lining up?
The moment I heard about Subhashi's suspension, I was in denial. Because I keep a regular check on Wikipedia page, so I was sure he has only 3
yellows.
Yeah, 3 yellows. We had 4 yellows for Juana and Johnson that we got out of the way before playoffs. So I was really confident that we'll get full squad. But then suddenly the new rule that I heard, that he had got 2 yellows during playoffs. Yeah, so he had to sit out. So I was really unsure because we had a Khabra injury. And
Nishu was also coming off an injury.
Yeah, Nishu was coming off an injury. So I was really not sure about the replacement, but I honestly did not expect back three that we went with. So yeah, it was unexpected.
So Ulas, you were mentioning about Nishu and why he wasn't the first choice to it was a like replacement for Roka too, but Roka didn't go ahead with that.
Sure.
But
So I think the reason Roka didn't, and I can only speculate. I went to watch the midweek AFC Cup match, and Nishu didn't have a very good game. And coming off injury, Roka would have wanted to see how Nishu performs in that AFC Cup match and what his sharpness is like. And I think he disappointed Roka, and that was probably the only explanation why Roka didn't play Nishu. But even so, I know it gives me no joy to say I told you so, but I thought Roka would play Partulu in this as a centre back.
Yeah.
But when
you
I
did mention it last time.
Yeah, I mentioned that on the last podcast. But when I said that, I actually thought Vanan would play as a
left back. Yes.
I still thought that we would have a back four. This is something I didn't see coming at all.
But it started off pretty well. I think tactically we were first 10-15 minutes. I think we were on top.
Sure.
And the Chetri goal was excellent as a Nishit.
Yeah, it was a great goal. This is one of the kind of trademark goals that we play. We get a run on the right side. Udanta creates assist and Chetri or Miku finishes. So it was a very trademark BFC goal, and to get it typically we have a early field attempts because defender intercepts it or
it hits the post.
Yeah, hits the post. But it was really good goal to get it early, and I honestly couldn't believe. So it was really good momentum to get going.
And then the two set piece goals, Ullas. What did you think of? Mailson was pretty good.
Mailson was pretty good, but I think for a team that prides itself on its set piece, it was quite shocking, to be honest, that we conceded back to back two very similar looking goals, and both due to poor marking. So it was a big blow.
I think first goal was kind of unfortunate that Dimas picked up injury just then, and referee would allow replacement only after the corner kick was taken. So that was in a way understandable, but to concede the same goal twice with the same player, same corner, it's.
But speaking of Dimas, Nishit, you mentioned Dimas. How big a miss was he once he was off?
Huge. He is kind of a midfield linchpin.
Yeah.
Along with Eric, but Eric was playing at the back, so he was mainly responsible in the midfield to create chances, everything. And once he got out injured, our midfield balance was lost. So
Correct.
his injury was huge, and we brought in Victor Perez in place of him. And he did well considering he's just coming off injury and he has just played one game. He played in AFC Cup.
And it was a big game.
It was a big game. So
the biggest actually.
Yeah.
Of this season.
Yeah. So you really don't expect him to shine from the get-go. So that's where I think we lacked. So here, I know Ullas won't like to say it, but he might get another chance of saying "I told you so" in terms of Edu Garcia. Ullas, your thoughts?
Ullas, so we will come back to that. I just want to know, at that point of time, I know in hindsight it looks very easy to say, but at that point of time, could Roka have done anything different? Instead of like putting Victor Perez on, he could have got Nishu on and moved Eric in the midfield.
Sure.
So, to give Lenny some assistance. Maybe that would have changed momentum in our favour.
I think where we went wrong is that I wouldn't say went wrong, but where we had a big blow is in Dimas's injury, because without Dimas we become very unimaginative in the midfield.
Correct.
Right. So Lenny is a hard-working midfielder, but he can't
create those opportunities that Dimas could. Yes.
Correct. So I think that's also why Roka probably didn't bring on Tony instead of Dimas.
Because we didn't need possession, we need to create chances at that point.
Exactly. So he had to take a gamble at that point, and I think it was a 50-50 decision either way.
And coming back to your second portion of I told you so.
So I saw this coming, guys. Like when we made that decision to sell Edu Garcia, I know there's a lot of argument to be made for why we did it. He only had 3 months left and all of that, but
We were getting a transfer fee. He was happy to go. We were happy to get the transfer fee.
Exactly.
Everyone was happy at the deal, but it was at the business end, and that's what you pointed out.
yeah, and just imagine if we had Edu Garcia yesterday. Imagine the difference it would have made.
Yes, it could have. Again, this is all in hindsight. At the time when deal went through, we wouldn't have thought of the situation.
Sure.
No,
fair enough.
And at that time when the deal went through, we didn't know who his replacement is going to be.
Correct.
So we were always hopeful, but
No, it could have been Alvaro Rubio for all I care. My problem was he still wouldn't have had enough time to come in and blend in
Blend
with
with
the
the
squad,
team.
right?
So Nishit, let's talk about the talking points of the game, and let's start with that goal line clearance of Dimas's shot. How important was that?
Yeah.
Was it Melson again?
No, it was Sereno.
Sereno. Is it?
Yeah, so among the many things that we'll talk about during today, so that define that, it was not just our day. So this was one of those things that we had a goal line clearance twice, if I'm not wrong, that could have easily been the goal. And again, those one goals and both those small few millimeters make a difference. Had that been a goal, that would have been an entirely different momentum.
Yeah.
We were pushing really hard even when we were down 1-3. So imagine if we were at 2-2. So it would have made a lot of difference.
Even 3-2 in the 75th or 80th minute makes a lot of difference in these games.
Absolutely.
But Ullas, I'll come to you on Udanta's disallowed goal. Did you think it was offside? Or is it still a debatable decision?
No, it is not an offside. It's crystal clear. Even when we were in the stands, we were pretty sure it wasn't offside.
Correct. We could actually see that he was on, but for some reason he did raise his flag.
Correct. And it's these decisions on the big stage that make the big difference. And at some point, these referees need to be held accountable.
Yeah, I agree with that. So one of the defense was that it was a benefit of the doubt kind of situation.
There was no doubt.
No, my point is that benefit of the doubt does not go in favor of offside. In case of penalty, it is understandable if referee is far, he didn't see the touch, so he does not give the penalty. In the same case, benefit of the doubt goes to scorer. If it is like millimeters difference when it is clear or it's unclear to referee that line, or so in that case it should not be an offside.
No, but my point is why should that even be discussed when it was a very clear onside?
No, so to clarify, I think all of us would have probably seen it on Hotstar.
Correct.
We did see replays of it, and when they were showing that still, Udanta was online, but his head was slightly ahead of the man.
And that doesn't constitute offside.
So that rule is what we checked. It says any part of the body, including the head. If it's slightly off, also it's an offside. But what is the most funniest part about that still is that the referee is not even looking at Udanta. The linesman is not looking at Udanta. He's just looking somewhere else.
Sure.
But it's his instinct maybe that he realized 2 millimeter offside हो सकता है तो मैं flag उठा देता हूँ. But that did cost us.
And literally, I understand the referee who's in the middle of the pitch not missing something, but it's the linesman. His job literally is to make sure that he gets these calls right.
And then comes the Nishu Kumar penalty.
It was terrible. I still don't know.
That was in the 88th, 85th minute maybe.
Yeah.
Right at the end.
Closing
but
minutes,
again, that would have given us 3-4 minutes to constitute 2-3 more attacks. 3-2, it's a completely different game.
Yeah, it was. I can't even say what more constitutes contact.
Yeah, contact.
There is a real contact. He is not going for the ball. Ball has moved past him. He is clearly aiming for Nishu's leg. Ball is nowhere near him. I don't know what more does a player need to do get a penalty.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
And I'm sure he wasn't trying to get a penalty.
Yeah, of course. So he deserves a penalty is what I mean. That
Yes.
a player deserves a penalty at this point.
It's one of those situations where a decision was awarded purely because the referee had a script in his mind that this time of the game players will go down for penalty, so I'm not going to award any of those. Right?
Could be.
So he had already made up his mind even before the incident happened almost.
Let's shift the focus from the referees making howlers to the chances that we missed. Apart from the 2 goal line clearances, there was one chance that Chetri's basically he skied it.
Yes.
We don't expect that from our skipper, but well, this occasion it cost us. Did it cost us, or was it too late by then?
It did. It did cost us, and nothing was too late. The way Miku scored right at the end, and the way we were attacking at that point, it was very clear that every bit of chance that we get, every whiff of chance that we get, we will capitalize. So I think.
So in that sense, credit to the team that everyone would have wrote us off at 3-1. I even heard the commentators even say that it's now hard and everything. But the way team pursued it till the end, and even after Miku's goal, we were really in the game. We really, whatever 2-3 minutes
and
left.
That's when the referee had another bad decision, which was
So
awarding
just
that
before that, there was a pathetic decision that he gave when Johnson got the ball clean.
Exactly. That's what I was coming to.
Had
that was that time when we were all over Chennai. We were attacking, and it killed the momentum off. And that was also a time when Chennai players were going down for fun. Right. So at that point, giving that foul, which was not a foul, but Johnson got the ball clearly, and that too we conceded a free kick in our third, which was ridiculous. So we could have built an attack from that point, which we couldn't. So a whole lot of
lots of things going wrong, especially the final whistle. Who whistles when we are on the attack?
We are on the attack and we are in their third, especially when there has been a substitution in the injury time. Right? So the law states that it's a minimum of certain number of minutes.
Correct.
Right?
It's the minimum.
Correct.
That is important to know.
So the referee could have used his judgment and said that okay, there has been a substitution. Let me add some more time, or at least
let
this attack reach its logical conclusion.
Correct. Yeah.
Right? We are in their third, and suddenly he blows the whistle.
But Nishit, apart from one or maybe two decisions this entire ISL season, I think nothing has gone BFC's way. We've just created our own chances.
Right.
But as far as ISL's administrative body is concerned, do you think they need to consider this and say that there must be, some mechanism to analyze and assess the referees so that, the standards of refereeing improve in India?
So from what I'm hearing, there is supposed to be a match report where this includes contentious decisions, and match commissioner reviews those decisions and actions are taken on those basis. But we have repeatedly talked about this. This is not a 1 or 2 game issue. This has happened again and again, and so
and it's
a systematic problem.
It's let's be fair, it's also happened to other teams. And more than a quick fix, as Nishit says, it's a systemic error. It's a systemic problem that needs a long-term plan to be solved, because we just don't have enough referees. We don't have a pipeline of good referees.
Correct.
What do we do about it?
So once the final whistle went, what did you guys think of conduct of the opposition? Do you think they were, we were graceful in defeat is what we can say, but were they gracious
for winning? I think they were despicable. If you look at what Amoy Ghoshal did,
and Amoy Ghoshal is the CTO of Chennai.
This is why this is the difference between an Amoy Ghoshal and Mandar Tamane, because you'll never see Mandar do something stupid like this, right? And this is also the difference between a Dhanpal Ganesh or a JJ and Chetri. You will never see Chetri behave like this, either in defeat or victory.
And JJ, I understand, is tagging West Block Blues in all images.
That's really low.
No,
guys, you won. Learn how to be gracious in winning. It's not like you have won the first time also.
Correct.
So learn to be gracious.
And let's be honest. But let's just discuss about Amoy Ghoshal. Why is a person of such position resorting to such low means by running down the pitch, showing whatever signs he wants to show?
For starters, I think the only silver lining there is that Amoy Ghoshal actually ran.
Because
he looks like he could use some running in his
exactly.
Life, right? So I'm very happy he ran and he exercised the finger. I hope he exercises more.
Some 5-10 minutes of life more.
Exactly.
Keep running, Amoy Ghoshal. I think if you come to Bangalore, you will be running. So.
But beside that, and jokes apart, I think. The conduct that JJ showed, for example, he was a completely He was a bit part player in Bagan's title defense, which he sort
Claims
of
to
invoked,
have,
which
yeah.
he invoked in the run up to the final, right? And even yesterday, it's not like he had a stellar game.
He didn't
He's
have
not
a
even
game.
had a good season.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So, in spite of that, he's basically riding on the good work that his teammates did. And fair play to Chennai. They had a wonderful day yesterday. They played really well. They outplayed us in midfield.
Yeah.
Right. After all this, he actually has the nerve to tag a fan group in his tweets. Like,
Seriously, how insecure are you?
exactly. And secondly, you are supposedly the country's next big hope up front as
You
a
said
striker
what?
after
Next week?
I mean,
Hope, no?
Yeah.
I heard of something else.
So after Sunil Chhetri, and this is your conduct, like this is who you are as a person. This is why a Dhanpal Ganesh or a JJ will never be Chhetri. I mean, they will never have the grace, they will never have the greatness on or off the pitch. And Dhanpal Ganesh, what is Dhanpal Ganesh? He's just had one good season. Like he's come back from the dead.
Yeah,
Correct.
see, yesterday and today I heard some Chennai fans complaining that because Chhetri celebrated in front of away fans the first goal, that's why Alves did what he did. But we know Chhetri never does that. As in,
Chhetri doesn't celebrate first.
He went to the away stand because
Udanta was
Udanta
there.
plays on right.
Yeah.
He encouraged everyone to go to Udanta so that Udanta gets the credit that he deserves because it was a wonderful pass and everybody would have surrounded Chhetri because he scored the goal. But he pointed everyone to Udanta and they went there and they celebrated there.
Yeah.
And we know how Chhetri has behaved. We don't need to look in the past. Look at Blasters game. Look
Yeah.
at Pune City games. After acknowledging West Block, the first thing they did, they went to away fans, and credit to both away fans there also. Kerala Blasters fans also bowed to Sunil Chhetri. Pune City fans also acknowledged Sunil Chhetri when the team went there and acknowledged it. This is how you behave in victory.
No, and Chhetri, I mean, if you look at the conduct of Chennai fans in the past, someone actually pointed to his shoe and said to us, Chhetri is there. This was when we went to Chennai, or when Chennai came to...
One of the two games.
Yeah,
Then they came here.
No, it was during our away game. So in spite of saying such disgraceful things about a player, like banter is fine, you intimidate a player, that's fine, everything is fine. They chanted fuck off Chhetri, that's also fine, like they have every right to do
Correct,
that.
yeah, they
But
can
to
do that.
point to their shoe and say that Chhetri belongs there, in spite of that, Chhetri has never reacted. He is genuinely,
he's too big, yeah.
He's genuinely bigger than all of this. JJ is not. That's the point.
But speaking of Chhetri, Nishit, what did you think of his post-match comments when he said that we are ready, we are already looking forward to the next season? I think that from the stands were music to our ears because after a defeat, if your captain is saying that,
Yeah. So my wife frequently tells me this, that I don't come to games for Bengaluru FC, I don't come to games for Sunil Chhetri. So my wife was trying to console me yesterday after the loss, but today when she saw his post-match interview, she broke down. So he took it hard, of course, because he really wanted to win it. But
Correct.
after that, he really brought himself
it's
together.
one trophy
and
that he hasn't won.
yeah.
Also, I think when Sunil Chhetri was scoring goals for fun this season, a part of me was saying that, okay, you are in the ISL final, you're going to win this. I was very confident we would win this. And I was asking myself, okay, where does Sunil Chhetri go from here? He's had the best season, arguably. He's probably going to win the ISL. What else does he need to achieve, right? And he's 33. So AFC Cup, while would be a good to have, I really think Indian clubs are some way away from.
Maybe just a little push is what
just
is
a matter of
required.
percentages maybe, but a little off the top, right? So a part of me was saying that maybe now Chhetri is going to see a dip in form maybe next season, or could possibly happen at his
That's
age.
not going to happen.
And now in fact this loss must have galvanized him. If we know anything about him, at 33 he has found that purpose. He is going to come back next season. He is going to blaze it.
But this also makes us realize how lucky we are to have a man like Sunil Chhetri in the club.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And never in doubt about it.
I cannot see him playing for
Any other club
opponents.
anymore.
Yeah, not
I
any.
think that will just break our hearts more than last night or the night when Bagan won it in the 87th minute.
True. I think the day before the match, Chhetri told the fans that when you come in tomorrow,
Have no
no doubt, right?
And we didn't have any doubts.
We didn't have any doubts, and as far as Sunil Chhetri himself is concerned, we are never going to have any doubts about it.
Yes. But Ullas, coming to Gurpreet's comments, I think a lot of media attention has been paid to it. I think John Gregory, Chennai's coach, is also, harping on this. Did Gurpreet say anything wrong? I think we need to give a background of what Gurpreet first said.
So Gurpreet's comments were ill-timed and not going to sit and justify it, whatever. A lot of people have rightly pointed out that his questioning of the format has come at the wrong time because
we've questioned this format in the podcast.
We questioned it. Gurpreet himself has questioned it earlier. He invented that whole hashtag. League hota to kya hota. Right. So that's all of those are valid points. But I have a major problem with the media. Right. Since yesterday, all I'm hearing from the media after the final is that Gurpreet made these comments, and were they right or were they wrong?
No,
which is fine.
Isn't he entitled to an opinion? Is the question.
No, see, that is not. See, like we have discussed, I think, almost one way or other, we have discussed playoff formats from the episode 1 to last episode. From us, from our guests, we have always made the comment. We have not ever made displeasures any more clear. But the point that Ullas made, that I would also like to make, is that is this the biggest issue of the day?
Exactly.
Is this what you want your opinion from John Gregory on this? So when you go to John Gregory
should have been questioned about his conduct of players.
So that's my problem. See, Chennai was let off the hook as far as the conduct of its CTO and its star midfielder is concerned. Nobody questioned the howler that the referee had. And by the way, both were clear goal scoring opportunities denied. It's not fouls that happened.
Inconsequential.
Yeah,
they were all consequential.
So it could have actually meant that Bangalore got to keep the trophy instead of Chennai, right? And those were not questioned. Everyone is piling on Gurpreet.
Even players' conduct. See, it is the same thing. For me, it falls on everything that happened after final whistle. But what you want to focus on is the things that change the game.
Correct.
And one of the biggest changes, I can understand if you ask him about our injury, right? Or like refereeing howlers. So those are the questions that you need to be asking coach.
As far as media reporting is concerned, do you think in ISL, especially in ISL, the media should be reporting more on refereeing decisions, whether the referee had a good game? At least there is some checks and balance there. If at least a Times of India or a Hindu says that, oh, you know what, the referee made howlers. So at least that comes in check.
Sharan, I can count on my fingertips the number of good football journalists we have in India, right?
Yeah.
Very few. And then there are some of them, and they are truly neutral in the sense that they call the bullshit from other clubs, they call the bullshit from AIFF or IMG or whatever, and they call the bullshit from BFC, right? They are unsparing, and then they also appreciate the finer points, right? So there are a few of them, but largely Indian football media is garbage.
And also, ISL will never focus on such things because it's bad publicity.
Of course, nobody takes to look inward, right? They don't want bad publicity. The way ISL is not, they won't like to harm their brand. So that's when it would it's journalist's job to stand up and talk about these things that are more hardcore and more crucial to future of the game.
But credit to Star. The commentators have always called out the bad performance by referees, the incompetence of referees, and they've been pretty vocal about it.
Correct.
Someone sent me screenshots from the ISL app where it was written that Udanta was onside and a stone wall penalty was denied to Nishu Kumar. So, in this case, I think it's just media lacking follow-up. They just want something sensational, so they chose to pile on.
It's a sound bite. Yeah, so see, in this case, you ask Gregory Nelson to comment on this, so he's obviously going to defend it.
Obviously,
it is his job.
Never going to blame Gregory.
Yeah,
John Gregory.
The coach. So it is not his job to be.
He's not going to say, "Oh, my player was wrong." I don't think he'll. No coach will ever say that.
So you ask him. So you ask him uncomfortable questions and get an answer from him on crucial points, not the comments that are not non-consequential.
Also, and if you look at it from Gregory's perspective, he is completely justified because Chennai had played a very good game. And they were the only team in the league who gave us a credible threat. So he is completely right when he says that Chennai earned the league. It's
totally.
not that.
Totally.
But we are aggrieved in the sense that decisions didn't go our way. So both sides are perfect, but my scrutiny or my skepticism comes from the dubious role that the media has played. Especially my favorites are those journalists who go on social media and say, listen, I am not against BFC, but you know, the moment you start your statement with that disclaimer, you doofus, it's obvious that you have a problem against BFC, right?
Okay, anyway, moving on to lighter things. How good was it to see Abhishek Bachchan celebrate in front of fans that he's never seen before and that his movies never get?
Yeah, I mean, more people. I think Abhishek Bachchan is a committed team owner because he's finally realized that he's got more people in Beast and Blues than in theaters.
In theaters, yeah.
So credit to him. But I have to commend Beast and Blues. They were fantastic on the night,
yes.
and I think I wrote this on social media. They're a credit to the club. They showed up in
Absolutely.
good numbers.
But just stop copying like ditto chants. Yeah? It's so pissing off. Like, you're doing a good job. You're vocal. You're backing your team. It's good. It's a good thing about Indian football, for Indian football, that if we have more fan bases like this, it will help.
Sure.
National team can play in Chennai and know they'll have the backing.
Correct.
So just stop copying our chants. I think everybody's on the same page there.
No, but all that banter aside, I think there has to be an unconditional appreciation of the good work they've done.
True.
Actually, both the team as well as the fan. Chennai team played really well.
There are a few negatives. There always are. I think
Yeah.
we look at it from our perspective. They look at it from theirs.
Correct.
But they would have been a happy bunch going back.
Absolutely. And then they came here to win. They won, and they were the only side that could have possibly given us a credible threat.
True.
And on the fan side, Beast and Blues were fantastic. I'm not
Don't piss Super Machans off.
No, I don't talk about agency jobs, so I'm not going to address them. They are irrelevant. But Beast and Blues were fantastic. They created a great atmosphere, and if you saw after the match,
They were loud.
The Chennai team also gave a perfunctory applause to the Super Machans, and they actually celebrated with Beast and Blues. They, after that, those Super Machans look like kids with abandonment issues, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So they recognize, the team recognizes who the real fans are.
Okay, so guys, wrapping things up, where do we go from here? What do we look forward to? Super Cup, we were of the view that it's irrelevant, but how important is that now?
To me, it is still irrelevant.
That doesn't change for you?
It doesn't change for me because even if we were to win the Super Cup, it's not going to address the hurt or it's not going to heal anything. To me, we will heal when we win the league. But for the team's morale and for a lot of fans, I'm the outlier as far as this is concerned. For the fans and the team, it's now suddenly assumed some importance.
Correct.
And where do we go from here? Well, we have seen some really sad days. Tell the fans.
Bagan loss, did it hurt more, guys? In a short answer, did it hurt more? The loss at the 87th minute, Bello Razak.
Hard to call.
It's more recency bias, but I don't know. In the sense, it's tough to put them both in.
Yeah, I'm pretty clear Bagan loss hurt more.
I think the Bagan loss hurt more because we didn't actually lose the game. We
drew the game
and yet lost. Yeah. So.
But that was a proper league format.
Yes.
And that's why I think it hurt more.
True. Yeah.
When Ashley Westwood left the club, we thought it's the end of the world. When we lost to Bagan, we were pretty much down in the dumps. But we have come back from all of that.
Yes.
Right?
We're stronger than that.
Yeah, we are much stronger than that. And then that's what I've been trying to tell fans is that don't wade into pointless online conversations and, this is not our moment to speak maybe. Let's accept that we lost.
Have no doubt that this club is known to come back.
Yeah.
This club has a vision, so that's what it comes down to, right? We
Now
lost great players.
I think water is under the bridge for a lot of management, especially for I think Parth Jindal, who would rue that we won't get to participate in Asia Cup more than we lost out on ISL trophy.
Absolutely.
Because that has been a priority for this club always. That it's always a big achievement for the club, a matter of pride to represent India in AFC Cup.
So guys, it's been a rough couple of days. I think it's going to take another couple of days or maybe weeks to get over this. But it's Ugadi today and it's new beginnings, and we really hope that this is a new beginning for us. We have Super Cup coming up next. It starts on April Fools, so it's ironical. But let's just go, give it our best, not lose our voices, not lose our spirit, keep our chin up, and believe you me, knowing the folks at this club, we will come back soon.
Absolutely.
So will we once the Super Cup starts. So we'll see you all next time.